Hi everybody. So this one's gonna be a long one because gonna be waiting my top 10 favorite Disney movies since I've been doing Kingdom Hearts videos. Been my mind's been on doing this for ever since I got Kingdom Hearts 2.8. So for people who are curious about my top 10, because I do talk about Disney a lot, so here we go. I don't have every single one of them. So I only have three, so I'll probably show pictures of them. The ones I don't have, okay? Starting with my number one. I already did a video on this one. It's just Lion King. Because ever since I was a little kid, I love this movie so much. No matter what new movie comes out, I will always defend and say Lion King is the best Disney movie ever. I love felines and everything like that. So I only wish this is one of the movies I actually saw in theaters. Because I never seen this one in theaters and I wish I have. Because I think it has like, it actually is the first one to show a parent's death. Which the foot actually went to. Because we saw everything with Foss's death. It went further than Bambi's. So that's one thing how far it went with that. And I like the fact that it's based off of a Shakespeare play, Hamlet. It doesn't go as far as Hamlet, which is okay, because some of these things, some of these old stories, I think, are a little too dramatic and go a little too far into tragedy. So that's one thing I'm okay with them doing it like this. So great villain, great story, great lesson for kids. So, and great great. So I guess I'm gonna have to do this. I was supposed to do this 10 to 1, but I already did 1, so I'm just gonna do it from 1 to 10. So number 2 is Hunchback of Notre Dame. So I think this one's the closest to the book. Like I've said in my my walkthrough, since I'm on this world right now, I'm about to finish it. I'm on I'm like on the last boss. But I like about it that they do not they keep it religious related, even though a lot of people don't like that, and I like they keep that in there. It's not mostly talked about that much anymore because it's one of Disney's it's one of like top 10 underrated ones, I think, because I don't really hear people talk about that much. So I like that. I like the villain in it. He's my number 4 villain. Um, Judge Frollo. I like that he's the only villain. I think he's the most darkest one out there. Out of the ones that in this movie is pretty dark. Everybody says, like I've said before, it's people think Black Cauldron's darkest, but no, I think this one is because of Judge Frollo. Because I already told you when I mentioned my favorite, my top 10, my top 10 favorite Disney villains. He is very, very he's a pervert and he's very racist because he hates gypsies, yet he loves Esmeralda. And the way he goes about looking at he loves her or infatuated with her. He touches her, he smells her hair. He makes a song about should he love her or kill her. So, because basically that's what Hellfire is about. It's about deciding, should I kill the woman I love, or should I have her be mine? Because he doesn't want nobody else to have her if he's not gonna have her. If you guys really listen to those lyrics, you would get what that song means. I did not know this song because when I was younger, this one was like number 4 on my list. When I grew up and I watched it as an adult, I understood that song a lot better and what he was actually doing in that movie. I mean, I like everything else. I like Quasimodo. I think it's kind of weird because not many Disney movies out there have it where the hero doesn't get the girl, because he doesn't get the girl in this movie. He doesn't get Esmeralda. Phoebus does. So that's one. So it's very rarely we ever see that happen. He's the hero in this movie, so it's very rare that happens. So this used to be my number 4 choice, and we'll get when we get to there. I'm more adult. I'm adult, so I like my stories more adult now. So that's why it's now number 2. My number 3 is Beauty and the Beast. This one already had a video too, just like Lion King. For the same reasons. It's the first couple that was actually earned, that actually had to earn their love. That like Belle and the Beast both had to earn each other's love and trust in the movie, since they hate each other at first. So only thing down part about it, I don't like Gaston. So I go more depth in that video. So, and then the one I actually have, guys, Aladdin. If you guys want to know why he's number 4, it's because of Genie. Do I even have to say it, guys? Come on. Everybody knows who plays this guy. Everybody knows who plays Genie and how funny he is. This is like, just like, because this is one of my favorite movies that he's in, Robin Williams. I had to say it, didn't I? This is, if I ever do a countdown of that guy, which I probably won't, every time I bring him up, I say Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji, Hook, and this movie are my favorite Robin Williams movies. Okay, back to topic. This is the first movie I saw in theaters when I was like 3 years old, since it came out in 1992. I liked it, and I liked the villain in it too, Jafar. He actually looks like a villain, and he is too. There is some pervert qualities to him too, but not as bad as Frollo, but because he didn't go to the lengths that he does to get Jasmine that he does. But the fact that he likes a 15-year-old girl in order to become king, and he tries to actually make the genie try to wish her to love him. It's there, not as bad as Frollo, but it's there. So, and their love is not as earned as Belle and Beast, because it's not the same situation. It's pretty much 3 days love again, because it took them about 3 days to fall in love, just like it did with Ariel. So it's basically the same thing, except for we get to have a more boy movie, so you boys won't have to say, oh, this is a girl's movie. This is like one of the first movies that I guess the boys can love, even though there is a love story in it. So, and it's funny. A lot of things that you guys things that the genie does in this movie, You guys probably don't even get it, yet you laugh at it. So, that's my number 4. My number 5 is Miga Nana Krista! Is Stitch, guys. Yes, I love Stitch so much, I learned how to do his voice. And trust me, it ain't easy to do his voice. I like the whole entire sisters quality, like Lilo and Nani. How much those two care about each other, and how much Nani actually puts into taking care of her little sister after what happened with her after what happened to her sister, their parents in the car accident. Because if I had to be put in that situation, I don't know what would I do, and I don't know how, or any of us had to be put in that situation with my little brother David. He's not as young as Lilo, but I don't know how any of us can actually do that with David. But we would find some way. He's almost out of there, so we don't have to worry about that. So the thing is, I can see what Nani has to go through and how hard it is. That's one thing I can understand that. And I love how they make it to where they have Elvis music playing all the time. And because since this takes place in Hawaii, and Elvis loved that place when he was alive. And I like the relationship with Lilo and Stitch, because Lilo was pretty lost after she lost her parents. She felt like she was pretty down, and she had nobody to relate to her because those 3 kids at her hula dancing classes were teasing her, called her Lilo weirdo or whatever, and treated her because she acts different. Like, if I was her, I'd probably act the same way, because I like the same stuff that she does. When I was her age, I like vampires and stuff like that. So I can relate to Lilo a lot. And she's just being a kid. I mean, you know how often we actually get an actually good kid in Disney movies? That's why this one's number 5. And for me, it was very easy to learn the voice. If anything I have a problem with is Donald's. Because Donald's always makes me sound like him. So, number 6 is Wreck-It Ralph, guys. So, I like video games, so that's why, and I like a lot of the cameos in here, but where's Mario? All they do is, they just mention Mario. So, like, I mean, we kind of do got, because, since, you can say that, Fix-It Felix is a ripoff of, Mario, and, Wreck-It Ralph is basically Donkey Kong. So you can pretty much say that. But I think this is a good movie for any generation to watch, because everybody knows these characters right here. Like, everybody knows Pac-Man. Everybody knows Sonic. Everybody knows Qbert. And all the other ones on here that are cameos. So anybody can watch this and say, "Oh, I played that as that character." Even my mom, because she loves Pac-Man. So I think any generation, as long as they played a video game, they can love this movie and like it. And I like the lesson is kind of weird. I mean, he has to still stay a villain. So that's why, I mean, it wants to change, but he's unable to. I mean, he's accepted to who he is, and and found out that this is his job because that's where he has to be. Because if he didn't, if he had to change, the arcade would have been destroyed. And I like the villain in it too. A lot of these ones do have good villains that I have picked. So, yeah, Turtle or King Candy, um, was a great villain. So, the last movie I have, number 7. Yep, you guys, it had to be on here somewhere. Everybody, the movie that people dreaded for a long time until Milano came out, and I think people still are dreading it because still people have to hear "Let It Go" single everywhere. So I like it for the same reasons I like Lilo and Stitch, even though the sister situation is a lot stronger in that movie, but I like Lilo and Stitch because it did it first. Everybody says no, the sisters' relationship was done first in Frozen, but they forget it was actually done in Lilo and Stitch. So, first, it gets more brought up here because that's how it ends with Anna, not Anna. People always call her Anna, but it's called Anna. Why can't people pronounce her name right? So, sorry about that. Every time I watch a video on YouTube, it's like I hear Anna, not Anna. So, let me get back to the movie. So, and I like the. When did it start? When did they start like making it? You had to guess who the villain was. I think it was Wreck-It Ralph, because they did hint at that King Candy was the villain. Also, everybody else too was making fun of Penelope, but I think this one was more heavily based on it because how everybody made a big deal that Hans was outed as the villain, when we all thought it was actually the Duke of Weaselton or Weaselton was the villain because how we treated Elsa. But people don't realize he's actually based off the mirror in the book. So he's just basically mirroring everybody in the movie. So if you read the book, you understand it more. It's because then they didn't put the mirror in the movie, so they just made a character out of it. So all the songs are really good. Only one I don't find that's absolutely necessary in it is that Troll song, because we already had a love song, even though that love we find out later on didn't mean anything. But that's what we're trying to be. We're supposed to be trying to be tricked. We're supposed to be trying to want Anna and Hans to be together, because that's how it looked like at the beginning. We're supposed to be surprised that that he's a bad guy at the end, and the fact that they made it where we had 2 different songs where she has to fall in love with 2 different guys and pick between the guys, that would have been a lot better, I think, if they would have like kept it the way it was, where the Duke of Russellton was the bad guy, and make it where it was up to Anna who she got to choose. But since this movie's more about sisterhood, because in the book, I bet you guys already know this, it was Elsa who was the villain in the book, not Hans. So, but they wanted to make it where it's about sisterhood. So, my number 8 one is when you're the best of friends is Fox and the Hound. I like it that's about friendship and how far Todd and Copper would go to be with one another and do not care what anybody else says. And even for a while, they did have a fight because when Chief got hit by a truck, got hit by a train, and it kind of was Todd's fault what happened because he led Chief onto the train tracks, and Copper got mad at him for it, and they were enemies for a while, and it took a while for them to make up. It took for um Todd almost get himself killed by attacking that big bear. Like that took a lot of courage. And after how many times did Copper and the hunter were trying to kill him and his girlfriend? Um, so it took a lot of courage and a lot of forgiveness because that's what this movie's about. It's about friendship, um racist and forgiveness because how much everybody's telling him and Copper, especially Todd, because Todd's the one that mostly wants his friendship to work. Copper does too, but because Copper's the one that has to deal with it directly, not as directly as Todd, because since he has to deal with at home where he has to be the one that comes the hunting dog, and where he has to kill other prey so he can give it to Avid slain. So I think it's like more hammered on to Todd because Todd doesn't know what he's doing. Like Big Mama talks to and the woodpecker and the sparrow all have like hammer into him and tell him what he's doing is wrong, and like you guys can't be friends because what Copper's supposed to do was supposed to like hunt you down and kill you and give you back to him, Avid slain. So in this, there is Avid slain is a villain, but he realizes what he's doing is wrong at the very end. Not many Disney villains actually do that. Actually realize what they're doing is wrong, and get to live. I mean, in a lot of movies, like they either get killed or get put in jail or get to live on, and they're and still thinking what they do was still thinking what they did was wrong. I think Amos Slam is the only one out there that realized what he was doing was wrong and stopped doing it and stopped trying to kill Todd. Because Copper got in front of the gun and said, "No, you're not killing him. He just saved us from that bear. You would have been killed, and so would I. So don't you dare shoot him." So I like that they actually put that in there because read the book, guys. It's sad, but read it. So that's what I like about this movie. Snow White is my ninth one because I think every list out there needs to have this movie because without Snow White, none of these movies would exist. None of them. And it got the groundwork for Walt, and it helped Walt. Like we know who Walt is because of it, and it's one of the movies that actually does still can actually scare kids, because the evil queen and when she turns into the old hag, that can actually scare kids. So and it can actually make kids cry and stuff like that. So I think we should just honor this movie because since it was the first. That's why it's number 9. And number 10 is one that's only good. Only reason why I like it because it has like the best Disney villain out there. Sleeping Beauty. All for Maleficent. And the fairies are pretty good in it too. I mean, they show how much they really care for War. They only mess up once in the movie where she has to be have her thumb on the on the needle. So and the Two Kings are pretty funny too. So this list was really hard to make. Trying to narrow it down to where I don't mention like a lot of movies I also love, like Little Mermaid, 100 Dalmatians, and then Great Mouse Detective, because all those movies are pretty good too. But I would say those would be my honorable mentions. Those three would definitely be my honorable mentions, and I would only have like a few, like probably like one that's really bad. Like I could not make a top. I could not make a top worst Disney movies. I did not mention any Pixar's movies or live action ones because those are there's I can make a list for both of those by themselves. It wouldn't be fair to make where I have all three of those together. So I will make those videos if you guys want me to. So those are my top 10 favorite Disney movies, guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. And knowing Sully, he would just pick a bunch of cat movies, and I don't know if there's enough for like he probably put Lion King, the Aristocats, which ones are those the only two that are mostly have felines in it? So, I mean, he probably picked Jungle Book too, so that's a good one too. That's also one I should add. That's be used to my honorable mention. So, bye guys.